Okay, I'm going to tell the story today, and I'm going to do the Devar Malchut later on in the daytime. I know I told the story before, this I'm sure, but I think I told it a long time ago. There's a very wonderful Jew in he lives in Crown Heights. Is Rabbi Nissim Mangel. Oh, oh, good. He came in at the right time. There's a very wonderful Jew. His name is Rabbi Nissim Mangel. I'm telling the story now. We'll see. Maybe I'll do the Devar Malchut also. Okay. Nissim Mangel. Rabbi Nissim Mangel, he's from Hungary, and he went through the Holocaust. Hungary was like the last place where they made the Holocaust. Hitler was already losing and everything like that, but he sent troops and he sent everything. He just wanted to kill Jews. He was really very, very interested in killing Jews. Seemingly, he was more interested in killing Jews than he was in winning the war, because he seriously endangered his war effort by sending troops and supplies and cars and things like that, and trucks, and to keep those concentration camps going. So he was taken. He and his father were taken of Hungary. They were taken to Auschwitz, and he was a young boy. Maybe according to the story, it could be that he was even under bar mitzvah. Could be he was under bar mitzvah. But he was very strong. He was very strong, and he was very healthy, very robust child. But he was a child. He was small. He was small. So somehow or other, they went through the selection. They were going to Auschwitz, and there's even movies of it. There's even pictures of it. The Germans were very proud. The Germans, like the Hamas, they were very proud and happy of their destroying, killing Jews for themselves. That was anyway. So there were pictures, of people standing in huge lines, men on one side, women on the other side. And Mengele was sitting in the middle, this doctor, and he would point to the left, to the right. And I guess if you pointed to the left, you went to the gas chambers. If you pointed to the right, you would go to this. And so he and his father went through, somehow or other. He was told by someone, they went through the selection, and he was, I guess, sent to the left, and someone told him, run over to the right. So he ran over to the right, and he stood there with his father, and somehow or other they let him go. He passed through, and everybody had to take off their clothes and put on prison clothes. So they took off their clothes and put on the prison clothes, but there was nothing his size. Now the Germans are very, how do you say, what they call very exacting. They follow orders, and everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be, in line. And so the garment was too big for him. So they went from that one station where they picked everybody to the next station. So the commander looked at him and said, you can't have a garment like that. Now he had already been selected to live. So this commander couldn't say, go back and get killed. He was already selected, and that you can't disobey orders. So he said, go to the pile of clothes. Everyone took off their clothes. They threw in a big, huge, huge, huge pile of clothes. Find your clothes in this and come back here, and I'll find you can't be in garments like that. So Reb Nissim Mengel says the story. He told the story. It's on video. That he ran back to this huge, massive pile of clothes from all of the prisoners that came in, and miraculously he found his garments. And next to them were his father's garments. So he looked in the pockets of his father's coat. His father had a coat, and he saw that there were two little bags there. So he took out the bags. I guess they were in cloth, or he took them out and he put them in his pockets. He also had a coat, and he put them in his pockets. And so he ran back, stood next to his father, and he was waiting, that they would bring him new clothes to put on. And he said that he took one of the, when no one was looking, was sure no one was looking, and he slipped it to his father, one of the bags. And his father opened it up, and tears started to come from his eyes. It was a few sardines. It seems that his father understood what was happening, and these sardines could save a person's life, right? One sardine, he said. Then a little bit later, when he was also positive no one was looking, so he gave his father the second bag. His father opened up the second bag and he just started weeping from joy. It was tefillin. It was a pair of tefillin that he had. And his father said was just weeping with joy that he had tefillin, even more than the life-saving sardines. The tefillin aren't going to save his life. Exactly the opposite. If they catch him with tefillin, they'll kill him. No problem. Kill a person, what's the problem? And so he said, he said that his father would somehow or other hid the tefillin and he would put them on at night. Somehow or the word got around that his father has a pair of tefillin. His father had a pair of tefillin. He said the other prisoners heard about it. Now all day they had to work. And they were in work. They were in like barracks. So all day they had to work. The only time they had free was in the nighttime. And they weren't really free. What they were free of was from this world. They could go to sleep. And they desperately needed the sleep for the next day to working. And he said that people would run from their barracks. They would run in the nighttime to where his father was in order to put on tefillin in the nighttime. In the nighttime, even for 1 minute, half a minute, because they were standing in there, there were several people. And if they would catch them, would kill them. Now here there were Jews that were in concentration because they were Jewish. They had every reason to say, you certainly, in Judaism, you certainly do not have to risk your life or even endanger your life for tefillin. You don't have to endanger your life for Shabbat. Shabbat is the essence of Judaism, right? Non-Jews are not allowed to keep Shabbat. Shabbat is the Jewish identity. You don't have to risk your life to keep Shabbat. You don't have to risk your life to keep Shabbat. For sure, not tefillin, put on tefillin. And all these Jews risked their lives to stand in the nighttime to put on tefillin even for 1 minute, or half a minute. It says why they did it, totally not understandable. And that's the point of what we just finished learning in Likkutei in Torah Or, that the physical, actual body of the commandments is above any sort of understanding, even the understanding of going to heaven, of the highest of heavens, right? It's above all comprehension. It's just total, pure, good God reality in this physical world. That's Jews. That's what Judaism is, the commandments, the essence of the commandment. And of course, it's also a commandment to love God. It's a commandment to love God. You can't understand God if you don't understand something. You have to understand something. You just can't love God putting on tefillin. That's going to bring you to love God. But nevertheless, it's connected to something which is above love. It's connected to something which is above any limitation, any definition. That's what the essence of the commandments is. As we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow. Yeah, let's do a little bit of the Davar Malchut. We'll see. I just have some more important to go through.